Hi, hello, how are you? And welcome back to another speed build. It's been a while, I think, since I've done a room build, but I had an idea, and then I had another idea, and then I went back to the first idea. The original idea was to renovate kind of one of the pre-built rooms that are in build mode. I was going to take one and then side by side build my own version of one of theirs. And then I decided that I could do that later. And instead, I would build a living room using mostly pet stuff from my first pet stuff, because the only thing I've done with that pack is build the pet store that I built when the pack first came out. And other than that, I haven't really touched it or done anything with it at all. And I was thinking, what's the point in having this if I'm not going to use this stuff? And so I kind of wanted to explore what I could do with it. And a lot of stuff in there is living room stuff, so why not do a living room? And I wanted to go fairly modern, and then I was kind of thinking cat room, but I mean, you can do whatever you want. And also the swatches of the couches I end up using are actually, I'm pretty sure, supposed to like evoke um, Dalmatian patterns. Like that's what it's inspired by. So technically it's, I guess, like dog inspired furniture, but I just like the spots. So don't get on my case about this being a cat room with dog furniture. Also, see this? This is the most annoying thing. I wanted to put the coffee table fish tank thing in there, and then it was way too big, first of all. And second of all, when I tried to downsize it, the corals and stuff didn't rescale with the table. They just came out of it, and I was pretty annoyed because what the heck? What is the deal with that? Um, I don't know what to say about this room. I like it. I don't know. It's definitely not something I would usually do. I also had to try really hard not to make it look too much like a kind of, I don't know. I wanted it to look like a real living room. Like obviously it's a style, but like to do something this pet themed, but I didn't want it to be very childish. And I think a lot of the stuff in my first pet stuff is childish, which makes sense because typically when you get your first pet, you're a child. And that's kind of the deal, is like hamsters and things. And so there's a lot of kids' furniture. And so I tried to fit like that hamster chair and stuff in there, but it just didn't work because it doesn't make sense. Like you're not going to walk into a showroom of a furniture store and see a hamster chair in the living room setup they want you to buy and put in your house. It's just not going to happen. And so I went for some of the base game stuff too. So if you have my first pet stuff, you should be fine, because I think I used 2 items. Yeah, probably. I think it's exactly. No, I lied. Okay, I used 2 decor items from cats and dogs, and then I used some of the pet furniture from cats and dogs. But to be fair, if you don't have cats and dogs, then you don't care if the cat furniture is in there anyway because you don't have cats. So you're not losing anything by downloading the room and not having those things in there. Um, I wanted this room to be a conversation area, so there's no TV in it. And if you're wondering, if you download this room, or if you notice in the video that I leave the entire um the wall to the left of the couch completely blank, it's because this is a single room, and so I don't know how people will use it, or even how I would potentially use it in the future. So I like to leave one wall blank just for the sake of, like, if you don't want to heavily edit the room, easier maneuvering it into or attaching it to your house. Also, I usually put a door in, but the door I envisioned, because this living room was an archway and it looked weird to have the archway just leading out into the yard. So I left it out. I was like, no archways today. Also, the thing that drove me the most crazy was that the orange that is on the couch does not appear frequently in really anything else in the game. And so I really wanted an accent wall, and I ended up not having an accent wall because I couldn't match the color, and I didn't want to put too much more yellow in the room because I didn't want this room to be too heavily yellow, because then it'd be obnoxious. It might already be obnoxious. There's a lot of yellow in this room, but I wanted to add like a little bit more texture, a little bit more something to the walls, and it wasn't working out. And then I blame that orange for it. It's like a burnt sienna, and it's not cooperate. It doesn't cooperate. Not happy. Also, I'm sure you'll have some glitches with the couches arranged like that, but I wanted to create a sectional. Sorry. Those couches are, it might just be me, but those couches are really awkward by themselves, right? Because they just, I don't know. Like, I feel like there's a sectional opportunity there where they could have built or added in other pieces of couch so that you could arrange them into various sectional arrangements and like create different L and U shaped couches and stuff. But they didn't. And so obviously you can use move objects and stuff and layer them or put them next to each other however you want, like I did. But your Sims are going to have trouble sitting on them, or at least they're going to sit on them in probably the strangest ways. And I mean, that makes for some good screenshots. So if you're looking for screenshots, you're good to go. But if you want your Sims to sit like normal people, maybe this isn't going to work for you. I don't know. Speaking of Sims sitting in weird places, let's just diverge for a second. What is the weirdest place your Sim has ever? I'm thinking of like tried to sit down, but I guess like gotten themselves into, because I've had Sims sit in plants, and I don't know why. Like, I guess they're thinking it's a chair somehow. The game's reading the plant as a chair, so they just squat on over there, but it doesn't work. I've also had Sims like sit in thin air. Just, I don't know. But yeah, so what's the weirdest place your Sims have tried to sit? Also, couldn't help myself, added a bunch of plants. Don't come for me. What I was thinking though when I added these plants is because I was envisioning this as kind of cat room, or like a room that someone who owns cats would have. I put in plants that are cat friendly. Because if you didn't know, lots of plants are poisonous to cats, and I like to have a certain level of realism in my game. So I made sure to put plants that wouldn't hurt your cats, unless your cats are really dumb. Because I did put a cactus in there, but unless your cat is throwing him or herself at the cactus, they should be okay, because cats generally leave cactuses alone. And then I put in some ferns and stuff and a snake plant. And those are things that you really just have to worry about your cat knocking down, because cats are jerks sometimes when it comes to things you love. Like, I have a lot of plants and my cat likes to eat them because he hates me. So if your cats, at least your cats can't mess with your plants. Also, speaking of plants, this is something I think I've talked about before, but it just re-emerged in my brain and now it's bothering me again. Since you can't water the indoor plants and most of the outdoor plants in The Sims, like unless you actually physically plant them, does that mean all the plants that you don't physically plant are faux plants? How many times did I just say plant in that section? That sentence. Yeah, that bothers me. What if they're all faux plants? Also, let me water my plants. That'd be cool. If it, I'll, oh, stuff pack that I want is plant stuff. I know there's a romantic garden stuff, but that's just those are still faux plants. Give me an interesting thing to do with gardening. I want it to be crazy. Like, I don't even know what that would entail. I know a lot of people want a farming expansion pack that I don't even know what I mean, obviously you would farm, but I don't know exactly what that would entail in The Sims. I don't really want The Sims to turn into Farmville, but I mean, but I'm always here for more plants and more plant related activities, because I don't think we have enough plant related activities in The Sims, to be honest. Yeah, so there are plants in here. Surprise! Who would have thought that would happen? But yeah, I think this is like a cool, modern esque, cat esque living room that your Sims could enjoy. And then obviously, because there is so much children's stuff in My First Pet stuff, you could kitty up this room a bit if you wanted to. Like, there's space in there, and obviously you could expand the room to add like a kid's station, like a workstation, or a little kids play area or something. If your Sims have cats and kids, or any animals and kids, don't restrict yourself to just cats if you don't want to. But okay, let's look. I added 3 pieces of cat furniture from Cats and Dogs, and the toys, I think. But that toy box is from My First Pet stuff. So I don't know. But anyway, the screenshots are about to roll through, so I'm going to let you go. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.